Hi, welcome back to Cruise Control. My name's Eric, and today we're in a 2016 Subaru WRX STI. Let's talk about that right now.
Welcome to Cruise Control.
Alright, so let's see how it handles these corners. I have it in its track setting right now with the diff being able to be sent to the back as much as it can, so that way it helps me to not understeer through these corners. There's a little bit of gravel on the road, so I don't want to push it too hard because I don't want to be shoved off into these trees. It handles things pretty well. Kind of bogged it down in second gear there. If you're not staying in boost, I probably should have downshifted. You got to be careful to stay within its power band, because as long as you're within that power band, man, it'll move. But as far as handling these corners, it's relatively flat. I like the sound. I like the steering communication that I'm getting from the wheel. I got a little bit of an understeer. I got pushed out of that corner just a little bit. But again, there is some gravel. Ooh, that also understeered out to the side. So there is some gravel. So I'm going to give way to some of that being the case that's on the road. So it's not a clean patch of road where I would be able to stick to the ground. So I don't want to blame the STI as far as the understeer is concerned. However, I will say that I've taken a Civic Type R in similar conditions on this exact same road. And yes, it did have one of those issues when I was in there, but it felt like it caught it better than what this did, even though this has all-wheel drive. So I don't know if that's a weight thing or just the tuning that Honda did, or but yeah, if you want to throw down the power, it'll go with ne'er any kind of drama. Just being able to go. All right, so why would somebody buy one of these? You guys know why. You'd buy one of these because this is going to be able to be driven in any kind of weather. You can drive it in snow, dirt, regular roads, rain, dry, track. This is like the jack of all trades. This is the benchmark that's been around for a long time, and I finally get to drive it, and I definitely see why all of you guys buy it.
All right. Today we are in a 2016 Subaru WRX STI, also known as a STI, but not the kind you get in your eye, the kind that helps you fly. Man, that's fun. The seats are really nice. The Alcantara center helps hold you in place. The back of the seat side bolstering is fantastic. Could be a little tighter on the bottom. The clutch engagement, it feels a little high, like not quite halfway, but like a little higher up on the pedal. So that feel is a little something to get used to. But I believe we are 305 horsepower, 290 foot-pounds of torque, 6-speed manual, and 3,386 pounds. So good amount of weight for it to have to move, but it does move it. Almost over boosted steering. Like I would actually want a little heavier feel. I'm not sure if that changes based on the mode that you're in, but it's a little light, a little over boosted feeling in the wrong gear. And then climbing a hill, and you're not going to hit boost until about 3,500 RPM. So it's a little bit of a weight to come into its power. Typical, 4-cylinder turbo. It is good. I mean, it goes where you want it, but under a lot of load, she'll still shifter, although it feels like it's almost tall, it's very tight shifting. Very close gate on the shifter. If you really rev it up high and dump the clutch, it'll really move off the line. But what did that say? That was not a good launch. I'm not even gonna, I don't even want to say what I got to 60 on that. But it's really good gears to row. A little tall. That clutch engagement point is less than optimal, but I'm sure you could get used to it if you're driving it all the time. And it sounds amazing. That like it's purring. You know, they call it the Subaru blurble, but to me it's purring like a kitten. And then you have a noticeable but still pretty quiet blow-off valve. All in all, it's a really nice car. The other thing is on the steering wheel, the bolsters for your hands are almost too much. They're big, which is fine. But I would imagine if you have smaller hands, you'd be like, wow, these things are making the wheel feel huge. Hello, people. There's a whole lot of aftermarket for them, obviously. But honestly, with the almost 3,400 pounds, it actually feels slower than the Type R. I know, looked up the specs, I think it's capable of a 0 to 60 in like 4.6 seconds or something, and quarter mile in like 13.3, I believe. So it is good. It's really good. And pretty excellent brakes. Don't want to forget that. Well, it was fun. That's it for me. Subscribe.
All right, welcome back to Cruise Control. We brought Seth along. He told you everything he liked about this, so we're not going to revisit that, but I do have a couple of questions for him. You got to drive the Type R in these exact same roads. Tell me some of the differences between this and the Type R.
So this, when you're actually pushing it under load in a corner, will slightly understeer. And I get that that's safe, but it really needs to give you a slight oversteer, especially when you're in like Sport Sharp and the VCCD is set all the way.
Yeah, it was so weird. Like, this car is very hunkered down. I like you don't get to have an adaptive dampers like you did in the Type R, but what setting it gives you, yes, it's in a very sporty setting. It's not overly stiff. I don't feel. How about you?
No, it's comfortable. It's about at the comfort limit, though, I would think, for most people.
Yeah.
Pretty stiff dampening. And then it also, like for acceleration and stuff, yeah, you feel the weight a little bit. But it's really good once it comes into boost.
Absolutely. As soon as the power comes in. Now, I'd say boost probably starts at around 3,500, but honestly, it doesn't really like hit you until after 4.
Yeah, you can definitely feel it come on at around 3,500 RPM. You're probably peak boost at 4,000.
Yeah.
And that leaves you with kind of a slightly tighter range to work with. It's fine as long as you are taking it up to red line. You're going to come back pretty well into boost, or it'll spool quickly again.
Yeah, and we were talking about the aftermarket would be amazing with something like this. Here in Colorado, we're at altitudes, it feels a little bit slower than it should. We're like 6,000 feet. So if you did a few modifications, that would really take this off. If you bought this car, Seth, what would be the first thing you would do to it?
Well, I know dollar value for performance. I would probably start off with a tuner, because that gives you the ability to take advantage of, you know, higher flowing aftermarket parts.
Absolutely.
And then I would consider headers, but probably first I would do a downpipe.
Yeah.
And really open it up a little more, and because it just, you know, it needs a little more oomph, which is the kind of the downfall. But how did you feel about this car versus the Type R, since they're both, I mean, 306 horsepower, 305 horsepower.
Yeah.
This one has a little more torque, but also a little more weight, but all-wheel drive.
Right, so balancing back and forth. So for me, I thought I was going to just absolutely fall in love with this. And look, I like it, and I can see why any of you guys would buy this. For me, though, it fell short of love. It ended at like, and I liked it. But the Type R, I'm in love with. Like, that thing felt like precision. This doesn't feel like precision, and I feel like my power band is just too narrow for me to truly enjoy. And the seats were just better in the Type R. Everything for me and my personality was just... everything that I look for was just a little bit better in the Type R for me. What about for you? Would you prefer this or the Type R?
I mean, honestly, based on the driving experience, I would take the Type R over this. And I'm not trying to be biased, but the Type R is really that good. And this is almost there, but...
right. It's just like missing a couple of things.
So close.
Yeah.
And at least it's got this on the Supra.
It sure does. Manual, baby. Although we've heard rumors, we've heard rumors that the manual transmission might be coming in the 3-liter, not the 2-liter, but in the 3-liter. So that might be something to look forward to.
That will be a game changer for the Supra for sure. But,
yeah. Well, leave your comments down below, guys. Which one do you guys like better, this or the Type R? I'm gonna have my video up shortly with the GR86. And then you guys have already seen the RF Miata and the Type R video. What's next is going to be the GR Corolla when that comes out. That's not going to be probably till summer, but that's going to be what's going to be on the top of my list. Those 4. What about you, Seth? What are you looking to get next?
You know, I'm looking at Supra if it comes with a manual.
Nice.
That's definitely in a different price category, but it's also in a different speed category.
True.
Loved the Supra, even though it was an automatic, but would I buy one without a manual? I doubt it.
Right.
The Type R is really good, phenomenal for front-wheel drive. I'm really looking forward to the GR Corolla myself, because I'm anticipating all-wheel drive version of a Type R.
Yeah.
I'm hoping
because I don't want it to do this where I have this thing built in my mind like, oh, this is going to be amazing, and then not that I would say I'm let down, but it just didn't quite live up to what was in my head for this, and I'm hoping that's not what's going to happen with the GR Corolla.
Yeah. Then there's the GR86, which you've gotten behind the wheel of one. I have not yet.
Yes.
How do you feel about the STI versus the GR?
GR86 all day, every day. It's playful. It wants to just rev out. It's lightweight. It's nimble. It's fun. It's beautiful. It's everything that I would want in a affordable 2-door sports car. And honestly, I have two minds about it. Inside here, it's all Type R. And in my heart, it's in all the GR86. So right now, I'm of two minds on that. So great question, and I don't know which one's going to win, but those are the ones that are up in the forefront right now.
Yeah, we're looking at the same cars.
Hopefully we don't buy the exact same one.
We'll have to get something different.
Yeah.
Whoever buys whatever first,
yeah,
you're like, all right, that one's off the table for me. I'm getting something different.
Absolutely. All right, so we're going to have more fun cars coming up. Thank you guys so much for watching. My name's Eric.
My name's Seth.
This is Cruise Control. Catch you on the next one.